My name is Chiku Ikakena, and I'm the Assistant Keeper of History here at the Livingstone Museum. David Livingstone Gallery is one of the 5 major galleries in the Livingstone Museum, and this specific gallery talks about David Livingstone's history from his early life up until his death. As you are aware, David Livingstone died here in Zambia in Chitambo village, and his heart and intestines were buried under a mpundu tree. So for us, I think we find that his significance is huge in Central Africa and Zambia, to be specific, because he carried out works that opened up Africa to other parts of the world. We find that because of David Livingstone, Christianity was spread in Africa, because back then we concentrated on ancestral worship. But with the coming in of missionaries, we find that the concentration was now on Christianity. People were enlightened. Instead of ancestral worship, we were now looking at other ways of worship. He came to spread the gospel. The gospel spoke about love, peace. It is for that reason that even as Zambia, we are peaceful, we are a loving country, and it is believed, and I think it is documented, that when he died, before he died, because he was found dead in a kneeling position, a praying position, when he was about to die, he said a prayer, and in that prayer he dedicated the nation to Christianity. So I think from that end, David Livingstone's history is very important, not only on Christianity per se, but even when you look at the discovery of waterways such as Lake Bangweulu, here in Zambia, the Victoria Falls, because he was the first European to see the Victoria Falls. That also gave opportunity for other parts of the world to know about the continent, to know about Zambia, and it is for this reason that even till date people are coming from across the globe to look at the Victoria Falls, to explore Zambia. So that is the significance of David Livingstone's history in Africa, and also the gallery portrays his legacy as that of exploring the continent, exploring Zambia, exploring Africa, and as well as the aspect of Christianity, the aspect of him having to interact with Africans. He made African companions who became very close to him. He met chiefs in Africa, Zambia to be specific, Chief Ishindi of the Lunda people, Chief Chitapanko of the Bemba people. So that also opened up our history to other people, and that is why we are able to have Europeans writing about Zambia. It is because it emanated from back then from explorers like David Livingstone. We have quite a number of original artifacts that David Livingstone collected whilst in Africa and in Zambia. And I think for me, I would really want the visitors to look out for his original letters, and those were letters in his own handwriting. So those letters, they are showing where he was writing from, to whom he was writing to, and the place where he was writing from as well. So those are very important because they just, some of the letters are explaining his experience here in Zambia, the language, how he found the language to be easy but difficult to learn. I think that's one of the highlights of his exhibits. We have swords that were presented to him by Chief Ishindi of the Lunda people. We also have a champagne cup, which is believed to have been collected from the Victoria Falls. I think those are some of the effects that the local tourists, international tourists, should look out for in the David Livingstone Gallery. So when we look at the impact of colonialism, of course we need to realize that colonialism means a superpower having control over a lesser power. So for Zambia, we were colonized by Britain, and that took place between 1890 and 1964. So that period is known as colonialism in Zambia. So when we look at the impact of colonialism on Africa, on Zambia, the colonialists came with their own agenda, that was to exert power on African people, and also they wanted to get resources, mineral resources, even human resource. So for us, the impact it's bittersweet, because we were deprived of our own power and authority. But again, because of colonialism, you find that we are benefiting from infrastructure such as schools, hospitals. Back then, there was that gender barrier. There was schools only for Europeans, hospitals only for Europeans. Even certain areas were only belonging to all the whites. But then with time, when we gained independence, we were now benefiting from those places, those schools, those hospitals. So it's bittersweet. We lost out on our own freedom, but then later on we are benefiting from colonialism. Yes.
My names are Constance Mlenga. I'm an assistant keeper or curator of archaeology under the Department of Humanities and Social Sciences at Livingstone Museum. I'm also an archaeologist for Livingstone Museum. Well, we have a number of artifacts on display that you can see around the gallery. We have pottery in form of potsherds. We have fauna, or you can call it bone, especially animal bone. We have iron tools. We also have copper tools. Pottery and iron show the evidence of human existence here in Zambia, specifically Livingstone. And apart from that, we also have some stone tools that show early human development in Africa. So stone tools and other cultural material depict the first human development or first human occupation on Earth. Well, the artifacts that you see on displays usually come from excavations, that is digging artifacts underneath the ground, or sometimes picking the artifacts on the surface. So after that is done, the excavators or researchers usually do a preliminary analysis of those artifacts. That is separating the delicate artifacts from those that are in good shape and good condition, I can say. Then after that, some of the artifacts are washed. That is the pottery artifacts or potsherds mostly. And some of them are brushed, especially the bone material. Then after that, those artifacts are brought to the museum for further preservation. I'll give you a practical example of how artifacts are stored here at Livingstone Museum under the archaeology section. So some of the artifacts that are taken from the fields after an excavation are usually put in these boxes for further preservation. Why do we put them in these wooden boxes? Because these wooden boxes do not easily deteriorate. And apart from that, the storeroom that these boxes are kept have got a moderate temperature. If it's very warm, about, let's say if it's about 35 degrees, we usually have humidifiers which make the air and the environment a little bit moist for balancing of the temperature. And apart from that, the museum, that is the storeroom, has got various air cons that makes the environment at that moderate temperature for preservation, to avoid insects and other organisms that can easily eat or can easily infest on the artifacts that are being stored. For example, this is a potsherd. At times you can easily brush it off. This is a huge potsherd. You brush it off and keep it under one of these bags. We call them calico bags. These bags do not tear off. You store your artifact, this is a potsherd, into this bag and keep it closed and put it in the wooden box.
Hi everyone, my name is Happy Chlufia. I'm the assistant keeper of ethnography here at the Livingstone Museum. So when you enter into the ethnography gallery, there are 3 stages. So the first stage is the village section, and then there's the town, and then there's the museum, which is there to preserve the culture of the people of Zambia. So in the third showcase, I think should be the third or the fourth, but it's on the initiation ceremony of the girls. So on that one, it was mostly focusing on the Bemba tribe. So you are taught different, things on how to take care of yourself or your husband if you'll be getting married soon. If you are still young, you'll be taught on how to take care of yourself, make sure you don't get pregnant and stuff like that. Yeah, and then there are objects that are there to guide you or to help you remember all those things that you are taught. So it's important because in the future generation, they'll be able to refer to those things in case they don't have an idea or they need clarity. They can come through, then they'll be able to have an idea on what to teach the other young girls. And then also there's also for the other showcases, the initiation ceremony for the boys. This one focuses mostly on northwestern and even eastern province. So other tribes also get to learn about what happens when the boys go to camp, what they are taught, how long it takes. And recently we've been having reports on it's not only the boys from those specific tribes that are joining the camps, usually even other tribes like the Tongas, and they also take the boys to such camps so that they can learn what their friends are learning. So even them, when they grow up, if they want clarity, they can also come to the museum. They go through those showcases and they'll remember what they were taught and be able to teach the other young boys as well.
Please visit the Livingstone Museum. There's a lot here you can find. We have 2 main departments. We have the humanities and social sciences, where you find artifacts to do with archaeology, history, and ethnography. Then we have the natural history, which looks at birds, insects, mammals, snakes, and as well as plants, which is the botany section. So when you are in Livingstone, whether you are a local resident or just visiting, find time to visit the museum, because you learn so much from this. You learn about our history, you learn about a lot of things that will add on to what you do not even know. So visit the Livingstone Museum. And then also, because we are here to research, to disseminate information, even students who are looking for information, this is the right place for you to come to. Thank you.